sorry. Hi, is everybody out there? Anybody out there, I should say. Sorry, there was no stream yesterday. As you might have guessed from that cough, I've not been well. I had some weird flu thing kicked in. Really sore throat. Hi, Bona time. How we doing? How's it going? Just doing my warm-up exercise. It's cold down here. I've had the heating on, but it's still cold. And also not sure what we're going to be doing. Well, we'll be playing guitar, that's for sure. Oh, there's Sean. So, yes, I mean, so I was quite ill yesterday. I did struggle to go into work, but I had to leave early. And then just kind of rested. That works. Vitamin D3 is very important. Yes. Do I have any vitamin D3? Probably not. But I think I'll go for that. I do take so things I take, right, interestingly, are I take those ISO tablets, which I find really handy. So when I'm playing all the time, and I get to the afternoon, especially if you've had a big lunch, and you get that kind of, you know, you're really tired, and I feel uncoordinated, then I'll dissolve one of those tablets in some water and drink that, and coordination comes back, and I'm fully alert again. So that's really good. And sometimes I'll have one before the stream. Another thing I'm taking, which I think is really good, is dirt tea. It's basically lion's mane tea. And I was hitting that heavy last week, and I did notice a slight cognitive improvement, I must admit. Hi Strap Player, how we doing? There's Stelly. Hi Stelly. Very important. Yeah, so yeah. Well, it probably does, because having said that, I haven't been tired like that for a while, and I've changed my diet. You might have noticed I've lost a bit of weight. Well, I got rid of 2 stone over the last 4 months, and part of that was just having quite a high protein diet, but just eating like vegetables like asparagus and things like that. The other thing I noticed is, and like hardly any sugar. Sometimes I'll have a little bit of honey in my coffee, but like I've noticed like a massive energy increase as well, like over those 4 months, like ridiculous. Yeah. So good to see like plenty of people here. We're still streaming in dual, so I think you should have the choice of whether you want to go horizontal or whether you want to go vertical. There's Sunshine. Sunshine, you know, Twitch is great, but why don't you come over to YouTube and have the choice of vertical or horizontal? So YouTube's great, and subscribe there, because like that's my main problem. I do stream a little bit on Twitch, but it's only sort of a kind of dual thing with this. It's not like the priority channel. YouTube is where everything's happening. So if you look for Tim Hutch, come over there, subscribe, and you will see me there. Right. Okay, we're in D minor. Excellent, thanks Sunshine. Oh, cool. Study. Some dub techno projects that need finishing. Simplified my work. Are you going to look for labels to release it on? Just switch the heating off. Still getting this brain woken up. All right. This is a Kiesel. Snap string. See if we're in tune. Hi Kurt. Alright, trying to warm up. My hands are warmed up, but unfortunately my brain isn't. I'm having, I'm just having brain farts today. Right, and this has gone off. I'd love to know why this always decides to go into standby. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Alright, got my other guitar out. What I should do is I should change my top. Right? If I change my top, then we'll be able to see the guitar a bit better, won't we? Back in a second. Right, how's this to brighten everybody's day up? Orange, Spice Girls in Cats. Alright, I need to tune this. Do you just hate it when you snap a string? I haven't played this guitar in a while, mind. I think we need to dust it. Oh no, I played it last live with Thomas, didn't I? Oh, have you? Right. I need to know what that is. Can you share it? Can you share it, Stelly? So, alright, sorry to hear about one of your friends. Stelly, awful news. But you were saying something about some music tech as well. I know. Right. Okay. So Stelly was talking about. I've set up my Mac for production, lever for mastering. I'm not sure if you know that we can't see. Oh, nobody else, everybody can see it. So are you? That's interesting, isn't it? Trying to get everything on here is a challenge. Bear with me, guys. I'm hoping you can all see that. So Stelly, are you using just stock VSTs? Alright, I'm going to check on here. So horizontal stream seems to be fine. Vertical, everything's running here, Stelly. So what guitar I prefer? Well, I can't say at the minute, but there is a guitar that isn't here that I prefer, right? I can't, but I can't. I've been up to something. Andre, but I'm quite happy playing this. This is all right. But I've been dabbling, should we say, a little bit with something. With something amazing, in fact, actually. And there might be a bit of an announcement in March, beginning of March, I would imagine, as well. But I don't, like, seriously, I'm doing what Thomas does. I'm giving away far too much, you know. Yep, sorry, out of God, I'll tell you what, the stream's out of control today, isn't it? Cutting the top of my head off. There we go. We'll settle for that, yeah. So just got to keep moving, haven't I? And keep playing tunes. That's the trick. That's the trick. Hi Rob. Zoom. practice that again. All right. Interesting jam that. So one thing I'm aware of with my playing, because like coming clean is like, you know, part of this in a game of music. Not hiding your fears. Well, one of my problems is technique bias. So often what will happen is I'll like literally unconscious start using a technique way too much, and then start daydreaming with it. And for me, it's like hybrid picking. And I was just watching players like I was watching Tom Quayle the other day. In fact, I was doing more than watching Tom Quayle. I was doing some transcribing, particularly some of his 2-1-2. I was interested in some of his 2-1-2 shapes, which I'll come to in a minute. But what I did notice is how much like down picking he does playing melodies, like to keep himself in time, and just general how much picking there was going on compared to hybrid. I mean, really, his hybrid picking was sort of coming out on the big legato passages. And even then, it's like hybrid ascending, and then descending. It's usually all picked, unless the sequence like that goes back on itself. So that was interesting. But then also, like by using the pick more, you do get more sort of dynamics, yeah. I like humbuckers, but I get quite like playing on single coils. So I've got splits on these. That's my neck split. You're having sweet picking for breakfast. It's just like embedded in my playing, really. So I don't do any covers, and I've only ever learned bits of solos. So glad you're liking the horizontal. It's great, isn't it, for zooming in. I love watching something play like that. Sounds quite egotistical, doesn't it? I love watching myself play. Oops. Wrong key. What key am I in there? Oh, I went to E minor. I've put you through on Bluetooth on my amplifier. My brother thought it was me for a second. Right, yeah, cool. I'm through. Now I'm through your amp. Just add some more delay and reverb. That should improve things, shouldn't it? Oh, what's this? Right, let's see what we can do here. Wow. That was a mission. What do you reckon of that? I couldn't do my wah-wah and get into shot on the right, let's have a look. Right, hold on a minute. I see what's going on. Come on camera. There we go. This will improve things a little bit. There we go. Should be, no, it's not in shot. Gets temperamental, this gimbal at the minute. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Right, a little tweak I need to do to my amp. So you might as well have a watch of this. Hey, right. Okay. We need the amp. So if you want to really catch it, I mean, there's this shot here, but then you just see me on the secret garden shot there. Where's that? You can see Nunchuck. On speaker voice, this is ridiculous what I'm doing, but I did notice on mobile phones there's a few harsh frequencies. That. About there, I think. Hi Enzo, yeah, I'm feeling a bit better, ready to face the day. That's for sure. Yeah, Donald, I was sick. Momentary flu. Alright, thanks Marcus. Alright, so there's a little kind of entry gateway into chromatic playing, which I ignored actually. So doing kind of these jams, what you can do, let's see if it works here, because it's something I've overlooked. So we're in C sharp minor. So 4-note per string scales. Yeah, Spice Girls and Cats cheer us all up on a Wednesday morning. That's a bit of an awkward bit, that. Hi, so if you're on Twitch, come over to... Oh no, that's just an advert, isn't it? Anyway, chromatic stuff, right? Something I've kind of knew about but overlooked. Again, I was doing a little bit of Tom Quayle transcription, and what I did notice is sort of these big descending and ascending chromatic runs. One of them being, so in this key, would be this. And then he was putting an enclosure at the end of it like that. But the thing is, it's just keeping it in time. So practicing, what I would do is I'll just pick another track that's maybe in that key. Let's just try this. We'll just go through it slowly. Okay, so what you can actually see there, what's actually happening is I've learnt this lick. It's this ascending thing, chromatically, with the enclosure. So that's the lick I'm learning. And then what I'm doing is I'm trying to immediately play it in time with the music. And then the second phase of this is then trying to embed it in my playing either side of the lick. So we get, you know... I'll just go with the problem bit. Oops. And again. Hi, Leandro. Right, okay. Right, Donald, this is for you. I'm going to quickly explain things. So the time on this video is 58 minutes and 33 seconds. And I'll just explain in sort of terms as quick as I can as a glossary that you can go back and research, type into ChatGPT and get clarity on in the way that you want to. Okay, so firstly, the key that I'm playing in is in C sharp minor. Okay, just what the C sharp means is there's some accidental notes. Accidental notes are notes that aren't necessarily, if you looked at a piano, white keys, there would be the black keys, right? Okay, that's the first thing. So that's the key. I'm using the minor scale, which is basically a 7-note scale. And what I'm proposing to do here is to add chromaticism. Chromaticism, or chromatic, is basically all 12 tones of our Western scale system. So in other words, a chromatic scale looks like this. And that's all the notes. But what we can do is we can use chromatic notes inside our scales. So part of, if I do 3 notes per string, C sharp minor, that's what we get. So I've got 3 notes on each string, but I can make it into a 4. I can make each string have 4 notes, adding a chromatic note. So that's the chromatic note, and there's our 4th finger. And repeat that. So we're just filling in certain gaps. Then when we get to the sort of bit where it's only just a space of a minor third like that, and that gives us basically still the sound of C sharp minor, but with these extra kind of weird outside notes. As opposed to without the chromatic. That's the idea. Donald, any questions you've got, just ask me now. So that's the basic plan. But actually, a really easy way into this is if we, because I was watching a Brett Gorsted video the other day, like his early 90s tutorial video, and basically one of the examples he gives you is just, you'll know a pentatonic scale, your minor pentatonic, and he goes, well, you've got this shape here, and we can add chromatic notes there. So you're just filling the gaps. So all those kind of minor third intervals. We can even fill in the gaps here for the pentatonic. So these are all like little kind of outside notes, and what you can do is then just play a track. Alright. And then what you do, it's just another colour. You can just add it in when you feel like it. So that's a little lesson for you, Donald, to clear things up. But actually, you know, there's probably all the question. the thing is, you don't know much theory and stuff like that's fine, but I bet you can play really well. So if there's any sort of things you want me to explain, and I can explain them, I just ask Donald, you know. And obviously, there's no such thing as a stupid question, even if you think like, oh, I should really know that. Honestly, there's so many gaps in my knowledge that I should know. And I think like one thing about this channel is that we can all be open and honest with each other. And having said that, there is a lick that I avoid at the minute because I always mess it up, and I should be able to play it quite easily. But it's not that lick. What it is, we'll do it in this key actually, as I'm going to practice a bit. I hope you don't mind this, I'm probably losing viewers. Is this Greg Howe? Why it could be potentially embarrassing is because I play this like arpeggio so much. Leandro, that's really great, man. Thank you so much for all the knowledge you are sharing. No, it's perfectly fine. So for me, being honest to the group, it's this. I struggle with that bit. All it is a -7 arpeggio. More of a twang. So I'm playing minor third, fifth, minor third again, skipping to the 7th. And then what I've got to do is pick, hybrid. No, it's not. It's pick, hybrid, pick, hammer, hybrid. And there we go. It's I swear to God, it is absolutely magic, that. So what I've practiced there is one of the inner game of music principles in the chapter. I can't remember which one it is, but it's back to the violinist with the shaking hands. The reason we get nervous in front of people is because we're trying to hide something. And if you just let them know, you know, you get over yourself a lot quicker, and you can get on and be way more effective when you practice. And honestly, and I can't say this enough times, when I refer to the inner game of music, it's what we're thinking and feeling at the time of what we're doing, and we should practice that as much as we're practicing our instrument. You know, we can sit in our bedrooms and practice stuff and be absolutely blazing. And as I recall as a child, I go, this is an amazing lick, and I can't wait to get to the guitar shop on Saturday and unleash it to everybody. And then I would sit down there like a little 11-year-old, right? Okay, and I'm going to blaze the place with this. And then somebody would stare at me and like basically shaking hands, fear, and then just would play completely crap, like I hadn't been practicing at all. The thing that was there, the missing link, the thing that wasn't in sync with my playing was me. My thoughts and feelings on myself and being put under pressure. Yeah. Well, you see, the thing is, like, I started young, Donald. I started really young, and I started obsessively practicing young as well. I should be a lot better on guitar than I should, to be honest now. But I did take a break, a bit like Thomas, and ended up, instead of producing hip hop and drum and bass, I ended up doing dance music and pop. I ended up like songwriting. And uh, like basically what happened to me is like I have really bad dyslexia. Like sometimes you see me trying to read people's like names on the chat, I just can't do it at times, you know. Um, and part of that's actually my dyslexia. Is I had to be taught how to read again from scratch when I was 8, 9 years old. People were reading really well, and the way that I read and still do to this day is I don't necessarily, when I read, link the letters up to make a sound. What I do is I read the contour of the shape, so it's the shape that I remember. It's weird, isn't it? But I think that's helped me with sort of like visual memory. But anyway, I was like not very good academically at school, which is not what the case is now. Uh, and because I wasn't going to be a doctor or a solicitor, and because at the time people didn't really know much about dyslexia, and teachers, despite me going to very good schools, were pretty much saying to my parents. In fact, I went to a parents' evening with my daughter, and like she does really well, and it took me back to this. I always remember parents' evenings of me going in with my mum, and the teachers just telling her how basically badly I was at school, how bad I was at performing, and she would make it to the car and then cry, right? And I used to feel terrible. So when music came along, I was really, I just took to it, and it proved that there wasn't something wrong. And my mother had her suspicions anyway, because she was like a primary school teacher, and she got me tested for dyslexia, and this was really just when sort of dyslexia was becoming a thing. And I remember as a kid having psychologists coming around the house every Friday and being off school and me playing games with them and them testing me. And sure enough, I went to the Gosford Institute of Dyslexia. I was tested and diagnosed, and then once that happened, the world opened. It was like, right, okay, all the things I can't really do very well, you know, you got to get through school. I was supported with that. That made it less painful. And then just my parents put everything they had into me being good at music, because that's the thing I love doing, and that's why I'm good. It's not because of like a magic lightning bolt hit me and I became good at music. It was just basically partially through trauma of like not being able to do something, and then finding something that I was good at and just being obsessive about it. And it's all been about the practice, you know, and the frequency, and loving doing what I'm doing, you know. I couldn't do what I'm doing now if I didn't love it. It would be absolutely painful. But the weird thing is, right, you know, I left school and I probably passed about two, no, like I think I passed about one GCSE, right, that was a grade C, and I failed everything, you know. But then I went on and flew through my A levels, and then I didn't even have to do a degree, right? I didn't do a degree. I went straight on to a funded master's, and the next one for me is to like I've put in for a doctoral fellowship. So it's pretty mad that I've actually got 2 master's qualifications, which is more than I have GCSEs. It's crazy, and the reason I did that is because functional skill wise, music educated me. Music was giving me all of my education. It wasn't just teaching me music, it was teaching me about life. It was supporting me with my maths and English and functional skills as well as your confidence and everything. Music does everything. And when you're a practicing musician, all of the skills that you use in your practice are transferable skills into everyday life. And this is what I coach on. This is why I have things like conditions of success, you know, being able to not just focusing on the instrument, but know how to get habits going, how to deal with your environment, how to make decisions, insight and analysis, how to cope with fear, how to cope with boredom. See, this channel with me is all about fear, isn't it? It's about overcoming sort of the trials and tribulations of getting up in front of people and trying to be consistent. You know, dealing with your community. And then finally you have the skills, and the skills are as important as all these other areas, but each of these areas occupy, I would say, the same space as skills, and skills is your practice and your focus. But your practice and focus isn't very good if, say, your habits are all over the place, and you know you're not practicing at the same time for the same length of every day, and you're going into practices and you don't have any particular aim or objective. You know, it's things like that. So we need to have all of these things in synchronization with each other. And when you do that, It's like nitrous oxide to your improvement in anything in life. So all the things I've mentioned there, but are all, and you could apply that conditions of success to anything that you wanted to do, like literally anything. So I mean that's the other thing. And then when we talk about creativity, that's modularized. Okay, we're talking about the way that I play that is we think of divergent and convergent thinking. Divergent thinking, everything is possible. You do as much as you can. Let the wild ideas out. You make music without any filter. You give yourself permission to make crap, and out of that crap you make really good music. Unexpected things happen, but then there's a system to filter it that I also have. So we have the splurge, which we call 100% focus on speed and not focusing on quality. We move to a discovery session, which is discovering what the music wants to be. We have drafting sessions, developing the story. We have done where we don't do anything, we just leave it sitting there and then review it later on in 7 days time. And then we have release, which is basically all the on convergent stuff. Now this is a great thing, but I was talking to another academic who's just in his final year of a PhD yesterday, and this system is ideal for him managing his book chapters as he's writing through them, because he's very additive. He's been told, I don't know if he's here actually, but he might be, sometimes he watches this, that he likes to, he doesn't like to kind of sort tidying his writing up and his work up there and then in the process. What he does like to do is be additive and collect as much data and as much ideas as possible, and then leave convergent thinking, i.e. organising these ideas later on. And that's a really good approach, because what you want to do is you want to keep the energy and the inspiration going. What you don't want to do is bring an editor in and judgment when you're still creating. So that's just my little outburst for today. Hope that was alright. I've gone from dyslexia to transferable skills to creativity. So as a Spanish, I worked at the London School of Basingstoke, taking care of children with autism. Yeah, and that's one of my specialities. So I work for autism services. That's part of my job, and I specialise in delivering music sessions to people with autism to help and improve communication and socialising. Music is a form of communication, and a lot of the guys I have are non-verbal. Okay, so we're using music purely for them to express a conversation or needs or things like that. This can all be done through music, but I think the main thing with the language of music in those situations is those guys that I do these sessions with, they feel listened to, they feel value because somebody is interacting with them in a meaningful way. Hey, come on camera, flashes at me. So all the chords, great work. Right, Donald, it's like to practice certain things, it just means I have to start from scratch on many of it. Not necessarily, but you need to maybe adapt. I mean, this is the thing, Donald, right? Again, this is the WhatsApp number. I don't know if you've got it there, Enzo. But if you give me a shout on the WhatsApp teaching number, which is actually in the community post, I put it there. You can message me, and Donald, I think, why don't you, like, if you can, why don't you just come for a lesson, an hour lesson, and then I can organise, how you can practice, how you can move on, and we can put like a little bit, well, a coach, so you'll put a plan together, but I can certainly help you kind of solve a lot of these problems and ultimately save you a huge amount of time. So this is, just I mean, you'd have to pay for the hour, right? But hit me up. You're the ideal person who I like to teach, right? And I'm not just saying that because I don't need the work, but this is the whole sort of things, because I think you've learned a lot of stuff. It just needs organising, and then that's massively going to help, because the one thing I don't think you need to do is completely stop and then start from scratch, okay? What I do need to do is just organise the knowledge that you have got, okay? And get you to understand what you do know, and then we can work a plan out on, you know, what really fires you up, what really interests you, and then a method of kind of learning that. So have a think about it. There's the number. Enzo's just put the number up. But as I say, that support's there for you. Remember, time is value, and like I'll go to a teacher. I don't mind running to Rick Graham, crying, and being in the because it saves me time. I mean, there's no total certainty. But one thing we can do with education, right, when you're learning something and there's a gap of knowledge, there's definite certainty there. But if you don't know, you don't know. You need somebody to show you that certainty, and then come up with a plan that if I do X, I will acquire those skills and knowledge. That's what you need. So you're not wasting your time, because life's short and we don't want to, why try and figure things out yourself and fail. In fact, talking about failure, here's failure for you. I got this out. Hey. Why? I don't know, but I'll have to get volume 2 just so I can kind of look at that and cry. So I had the great idea, let's learn a solo. So I did take out Devil Take the Hindmost. Devil Take the Hindmost out of this book, and then basically went, there's no fingerings, and then got really upset. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm now going to have to message the author and beg him, right, Brett Stein, to help me. Because that's the thing. And then also I've got the Messiaen etudes. And then that gave me a crisis yesterday, because the Messiaen stuff, wow. I thought, hey, I'll do mode 3. Why not? That'll be easy. There we go. Mode 3. Sounds good, right, but that's all I can do. Now moving it about and doing scales this way, very difficult. In fact, I'm going to try it on here. Let's try mode 3, see if it works. Of course it won't. Could even go what a mess. That's right. Just my hand gesture to the camera. So anyway, it's been a great chat today. Oh, what's this? Tom Quayle backing track. lost it. Yeah, always a pleasure, Leandro. So again, anybody sitting there stuck with your guitar playing music career, ring the burner phone. That's the burner number. Ring that and I'll help. You can book me for an hour if so wish. There's that support, but don't sit there kind of trying to figure things out when you don't have to, getting all frustrated and lonely. I can help. All right, guys. I'm going to head off now. So everybody, take care. I know I say I'll be here tomorrow, but I should be here tomorrow because I'm not feeling like really like ill or anything. And bye from me and bye from the Spice Girl Cats. See you later.